Governor, I'll let you go on this. Back to New York City. If you were governor today, if you were mayor today, what immediate changes would you put in place to deal with some of these criminal justice issues that you've been describing?
I know exactly what I'd do. First of all, I'd call a special. I would immediately put in place at least a dozen proposed laws that would completely change the criminal justice system in New York to not just back to where it was when we had the safest city and state in the country, but you learn from what's happened since then. So yes, largely that, but applying what we have learned since then. And they would get passed because my last year in office, I won a lawsuit that where the governor of New York State has the enormous authority to change the law by language in the budget. And the legislature has no choice but to either adopt those changes or remove the entire appropriation, including the criminal justice appropriation. So that's how Cuomo got the no bail law through. That's how I would repeal that no bail law. So I would do that. I would send a strong message that the police are our friends, and we're going to have an administration that is behind those police. I would send a notice to every single district attorney in the state. Shoplifting is a crime. If you are unprepared to enforce that law and you have set your own standard, whether it's $500 or $1,000 or $2,000, you're going to let them go otherwise, I'm going to remove you and appoint a special prosecutor to deal with shoplifting in every community where the district attorney won't uphold the law. I'd look at Bragg. He sent out that memo after he got elected in writing saying the category of offenses where he would not seek incarceration. I'd sit him down and say, do you stand by this letter? In which case, we're going to have someone else prosecute these cases unless you're prepared to uphold what the law says. So there's a lot that could be done right away. Mayor Adams has a harder time because he can't change the law in Albany, and he doesn't have authority over the district attorneys the way the governor does. But he too could send a message to the police and put in place different, work with his commissioner to put in place different tactics with the police. Tell them, for example, arrest a shoplifter, take them, and then we will push to make sure they're prosecuted. I would look at the mental health issue and see what changes in the mental health law are necessary to get the violently mentally ill, the obviously disruptive to us mentally ill, the people who would push someone in front of a subway, to get them in a secure facility where they get treatment instead of having it out on the street where they pose a threat. So it's just sad to me that so much could be done and should be done, but it's not being done.
Governor.
Now I would hope I provoked half your class to throw something at the screen, or maybe 80% of the class to throw things at the screen or boo me. But part of having a valid democracy and an open mind is listening to ideas you might not agree with. And I believe strongly everything I said. I'd be happy to sit down with someone who disagreed with everything I just said, because when you're sure you're right, you've got problems.